tongue could open up. I sold my soul a good price, out of sight. My whole got time.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Scott on Crypto. It's Monday morning, and I thought it'd be a good idea if we just went over Bitcoin and we had a look at what we could see for the week ahead. Now, before I get started, please go ahead and hit that like button and also the subscribe button to keep in touch with me and see my further content. Okay, let's get stuck in. So, as you can see here on the chart, from some of my previous videos, I still have the Wall Street cheat sheet sort of areas on my chart where I've labeled out. So the euphoria, complacency, anxiety, and so on. Now, as again you would have seen in one of my previous videos, down here, this is where I think the depression stage is, and I think the depression stage is around about where this red dashed line is here, around about the $5,000 mark. That's where I personally see it. But I just wanted to go through some of the support and resistances we need to look out for in the week ahead. Now, this blue area down here, I see this as a major support. So running through here from the November low here of around about 5,437 area, I see this as a big area of support. Now, at the moment, we've had no confirmation of a bull reversal whatsoever. So if you're unsure at the moment, sometimes the best trade is to not trade at all. Just sit on the sidelines, see how it plays out, wait for a confirmation either way, and go from there. Now, I've also put in the resistance areas. So you see the immediate resistance area here, which is around about 7,700 area, which was from our previous high. If we break that, then we would see a higher high, and then that would show a change in the short-term trend. I've then placed a resistance up here on this high here from in May, which this is around about the 10,000 area. That's where we nearly hit 10k. We were agonizingly close to hitting 10k, but we didn't quite hit it. That to me, if we saw a break of that, would change the medium-term trend. And then once again, if we broke up here around the 11,700 area, for me, that would show almost a triple bottom formation here, which is very bullish, and that would change the long-term trend. And from there, I can only see us going up. But that all seems a very long way away at the moment. So this is what I see. Now, you may not have heard of Elliott Wave. Now, there's a lot of Elliott Wave skeptics out there when it comes to technical analysis. In the past, I've done a bit of studying on it. At the beginning, I was quite confident with it. I thought it was actually a fantastic indicator. Since then, with this bear market in particular, I've become sort of growingly despondent with it. But it does have some fantastic indicators in it, in which area the trade is going to move. And the only thing that sort of points out to me hugely in this market is we are due for a correction. We are due for a change of trend. So we've had our correction. Up here we see obviously our large pump here. Now, to briefly go over Elliott Wave, a wave up basically goes like so. So Elliott Wave states that we see a first initial wave up, then we see a correction down to what we call wave 2, then another rally up to wave 3, a correction to 4, and then a rally to our last final 5th wave. After the final 5th wave, we see a larger correction. Now, this correction is mostly what is an ABC correction. Now, what this does is this comes down to an A, comes up to a B, and then further down to a C. Now, that's how they see an Elliott Wave. Now, if looking over this Bitcoin chart here, if we zoom out, there's a lot of call for this being an Elliott Wave just here. So I'm not necessarily saying that this is the correct sort of breakup of the Elliott Wave of these 5 waves, but you could call the Elliott Wave like so. You could say the Elliott Wave goes to 1, to 2, to 3, 4 down here, and finally 5. That's in the way, but 5 at the top here somewhere. If I can get this to stick. There we go. So if I move this over, there we go, 5 on the top there. So that's our 5 waves going up. Now we're waiting for our ABC correction. Now, a lot of people here see an ABC correction here. Now, this makes sense. Here's your A, here's your B, down here is your C, much as we see here on my little example here. Let me just make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see what I'm doing. Let's make this primary, there we go. Okay, there's our A, B, C. Right, now you might be thinking, okay, so there's our wave. What happens after a C? Well, basically we just see the same again. So what we would see is this wave beginning all over again and repeating itself. So this here doesn't look like this wave, does it? It doesn't look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Well, the rules of Elliott wave, this is where it gets a bit complicated, guys, but I'm going to go through it with you. You don't need to understand it greatly, but just a rough outline. Go ahead and sort of do some further research if you really want to sort of understand this fully. But the rules of Elliott wave state that on our first wave, our wave 2 correction coming down cannot exceed the beginning of wave 1. So if we draw in a horizontal ray here at the beginning of wave 1, say it's there, this wave 2 cannot drop below. So if we do this here, this invalidates this whole wave, and this is not an Elliott wave structure. But whilst this wave, this correction stays above the beginning of wave 1, it's still possible to be this 5-wave structure. So we could be 99.999% corrected down from the beginning of this first wave, and we could still have a valid Elliott wave. Now, I say this because if you look at this low here in February of around about $6,040. Now, if I zoomed in closer, obviously we'd get a more detailed figure, but down here at the recent low, we are 6,131. Now, as I've just said, this here, this low, has not broken the previous low here. So, does that mean that we've done our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, as I've said over here? We've had our A, B, C correction, as you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C down. Now we're ready for our impulse wave up. Now, have we seen R1? Is this here R2? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be R2 here, but R2 could be, oh sorry, then we see a 3, 4 and a 5. Now this 2 could fall anywhere as long as it doesn't drop below that initial wave 1. So if we zoom right in closer here, get these out of the way. 6,018, that sort of area there now. That was our low. So I think, guys, as long as we stay above 6,018, which is around about this level here, which is very close, admittedly, then we're still in for a valid Elliott wave. Now, that Elliott wave would signal a 3rd wave up, which has to be coming soon because we're getting closer and closer to this original level here. A 3rd wave up, a small correction here for a 4th wave, and then up for the 5th wave. Now, if we take, and we're getting, let me just clean up this chart here. We're going to be clutching at straws a little bit here, try and predict the future, but you can see here my initial blue line here, which is what I drew in my video explaining the Wall Street chart, which are these anxiety, denial, panic labels. We hit the depression stage down here, we have a disbelief rally, and then we rally up to a new all-time high. Now, if we go into log scale, and if I just alter this chart so I can zoom out a little. Okay, now if we have a replica of this Elliott wave here, so let's just say history repeats itself, and we have the same structure again, and this begins from here, which is our previous low just down here. We see a rally here up to around about 24,000. And we see this by the 19th of September, around about that area, 17th, 18th, 19th of September. But I greatly believe that we're actually going to see a much greater rally than this. I think this Elliott wave will actually be enlarged and it will be longer and we will go higher. But it's just an idea for all you guys that are sort of really feeling sick to the stomach at the moment of the market. We're in this extended bear market, extended correction. This is by no means, we're not out of, this is not out of, this is not out of our reach. This is not some crazy sort of prediction. This is well within the, within technical analysis. So as long as we stay above the previous low here, the February low, as long as we stay above that, then I think we're looking bullish. And that's what my thoughts are for the week ahead. If we can stay above that level, then I think we're looking bullish. However, if we break this low, the next level is this support here, which is round about kind of 5,500 level, and then we're finally going to reach down here at this 5,000 psychological level here. Now, I personally thought at the beginning of last week that was where we were going to hit down to. That was going to be our bounce and our change of trend. The bear in me still thinks that could be the case, and we are still stuck in this channel here. So we are bouncing up and down within this channel, heading down. Now, we're actually at the moment seeing a bear flag. So you can see a big move down here, and then we're seeing a bear flag consolidation ready for a breakout. Now, the chances are the highest probability of this break is going to be down. It could be up, but that's a much lower probability because this is a continuation pattern. So I think this week we're probably going to see a break to the downside. Hopefully we're going to hold that low from February. But if not, hopefully we're going to hold this resistance, this support area down here. But next support is down here for me around about the $5,000 mark. Now, fingers crossed we don't break that. So that's where I see us heading for the week ahead. Until then, we've had no confirmation. So as I say, the best trade is sometimes to sit on the sideline and to wait for a confirmation and to buy into strength and to buy into a confirmation in the market. So let's see how this week plays out, guys. Put in the comment section below how you see this week playing out, if you agree or disagree with me. And I shall be active on Twitter on my account Scott C. Foreman during this week to commentate on what's going on. And if we see any breakouts forming, any equilibriums and so on. And also I'll post some more content this week in regards to other things in the crypto space as well. So once again, like and subscribe to my channel, please, guys. Take care and see you all soon.
Hey, pop the trunk, I open up, I sold my soul a good price, out of sight, my whole got time.